Some time ago I played a fun little game by the name of Clustertruck. It was a joke title inspired by the game Super Hot if you didn't guess by the name. It was a free little game and it was a lot of fun. Now we get a complete game from that little freebie in the form of Clustertruck. The goal in Clustertruck is quite simple. You jump from truck to truck in an attempt to make it to the end. It's about as simple as it gets, but the game works so well that it's actually more enjoyable than most major games released this year. The game is broken up across 10 themed worlds, each filled with 10 sub-levels that you must beat before moving on. Everything starts off deceptively easy, but as you progress, you'll find yourself cursing the game in the most amazing of ways. Clustertruck is brutal in how it lays out many of its levels, and you'll come to know death like an old friend. But no matter how many times you fail, you always want to reset and give the game one more try. Gameplay is really simple and sees you controlling some sort of small ninja truck. Well, we don't really know what you are, but I like to imagine this entire thing as simply being the demo reel of actor Jason Statham. The trucks themselves are always in motion, and your job involves you bounding between each in an attempt to make it to the finish line. It all sounds really easy, and it is at first, but don't be fooled into a false sense of superiority, as Clustertruck really knows how to crank things up to 11 really fast. Each level ramps up the challenge by adding obstacles and traps that can kill you or knock off the trucks you are jumping across. Sometimes the world itself will be out to get you, as environmental issues like earthquakes and the like will cause you all sorts of pain. Even better is that these hazards are all based around the world that you are in. In the medieval world, you're going to be dealing with battering rams and torture devices, while in the science fiction world sees you navigating lasers and jump jets. Each is very unique and has its own special things. All of this on its own would make for a lovely enough game, but Clustertruck adds a lot of extra content that makes it really special. As you progress, you'll earn points for completing levels and doing sick tricks along the way. These can be spent to unlock tools and abilities that can help you throughout the game. These various unlocks can actually completely change how the game plays, even if you go back and play levels you've already completed. You can unlock the double jump, which in my opinion is the best ability in the game, an old jetpack, or even a grappling hook. These tools really change things up and can get you out of a jam in a real hurry. When you aren't screaming about dying, you'll be screaming in joy from an amazing save you pulled off thanks to one of these devices. The abilities are secondary. You can have one of each active at any given time, but also help turn the game on its head. These include the power to slow down time, drop a truck out of thin air in front of you, or simply activate Super Truck mode, where everything just gets a bit silly. It's all great fun, and the game is designed perfectly to be played with friends on Twitch. Because of this, Clustertruck also includes built-in Twitch integration that you can activate via the options menu. This allows you to let your chat vote on random occurrences that can either help or hinder your progress as you play. Are you doing really well? Maybe chat decides to vote an active persistent earthquake. Perhaps you're stuck on a harder level? Well, chat could activate wide trucks so you have more room to maneuver. Or they can just add lasers to every truck and fuck you over. It's really up to them, and it adds a lot of fun to the game, especially if you have a lot of fans on Twitch. The music is also really good, and while you probably won't be humming along the tunes once the game is over, each world does have solid music that fits it very well. Everything about Clustertruck is built around one simple premise: fun. This is the sort of game that removes everything and leaves only the very basic underlying mechanic for us to work with. It's the sort of development that's done right, because if your game's mechanic isn't enough to carry it, then you can add all the high-end graphics, story, features you want, but it's not going to cover up that simple shortcoming. That being said, Clustertruck isn't a long game, even with 100 or so levels to test yourself with. Depending on the skill, the game will only take you a few hours. I clocked in about 3.5, but those few hours are a complete blast. I'd much rather have a short game that is non-stop fun than some 30-hour adventure that ends up feeling flat and has inconsistent pacing. But if you do want more truck, jump, and action when you finish, The game does offer full Steam Workshop support, so you can make, play, and share your own stupidly hard levels. Clustertruck is almost sort of like the Super Mario Maker for the PC crowd. While Clustertruck is pure truck jumpin' fun, it does have a few minor issues that come up. There are still some bugs present that can get you into a good bit of trouble when you're on a pretty good run. Sometimes collision detection freaks out and you or a truck will just simply go flying off into another direction at warp speed. You'll also sometimes get stuck someplace you probably shouldn't when bounding about. If you touch anything in the game other than the truck you're on, you'll die. But there were a few times when I landed on somewhere where I probably shouldn't have and was completely okay. Stuck in limbo, sure, but I was still completely okay. At the end of the day, Clustertruck is one of the most wacky gaming experiences of the year and comes highly recommended. When developers focus on the fun instead of trying to impress investors or critics, you end up getting something really special. Pick this one up, as you won't be disappointed.